And welcome to Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house, not against it. I'm your host, Ariel Calista Miller, author of Sports Betting Illuminated, an AI-powered path to profit. So nice seeing you here this morning, Brian, Chuck Science, Thomas. Hello, thanks so much for starting your Sunday morning with me. Welcome in. I know a lot of people out there are probably watching a game right now. I mean, Steelers are doing very well. Hello, Super Pro. Hello, Derek. Good morning. So nice seeing all of you here. Who's ready to win some wagers today? I sure am, and I have some great plays in football, even a play in the WNBA that I like a lot. Of course, things are, shaping up to be a little bit slower in Major League Baseball at this very moment. It's the last day, regular season, so not a lot going on there, not a ton of action at this very moment, but we will be covering, just some basketball, just a little bit of movement that's going on in Major League Baseball, but not seeing much there. And of course, it is Football Sunday, so plenty of wagers to look at, break down, and analyze there. That is for sure. I know he slept in this morning, but it's okay. You can still get all of my links, sign up for the daily report, and of course check out my fresh, brand new website. I kind of went through arielcalista.com, redid everything. So if you want to get the daily report, which has all of my sports and analysis really breaks down all the lines for today, and of course, you got some sports news every day, the health corner, which is a lot of fun, my personal take on things, my pick of the day, like my number one pick, and we've been doing, that's been a lot of fun. We've been doing well with those, and of course, a little picture of me every day at the bottom. Make sure to sign up just by going to arielcalista.com and clicking the button that says Stay in Touch. It is free, it's easy to sign up, and I certainly hope you do so. Share it with a friend because it is football season, and I know we all want to bring our ROIs up. Hello, David. So nice seeing you here this morning. Welcome in. Hey, Super Pro. So nice seeing all of you guys here. This is great. I think it's a great day to have a great day. I am still sipping on my coffee this morning. It's really yummy. Just got a new frother. So, definitely love my coffee in the morning. And of course, before we get started, I want to sit back, relax, and get my mind right to win some wagers. You have been tracking my ROIs in the NFL. I love it. Yes, right now I'm currently sitting at a 38.7% ROI in the NFL. We've played 22 units, a 68.2% win rate, and I think we're definitely going to get it into the 40% ROI today. I feel really good about a lot of these wagers, very confident on them. In college football, we're sitting on a 37.5% ROI, a 68.8% win rate on 16 units, and of course, MLB, WNBA, we are sitting at 46% in both of them. MLB almost at a 70% win rate, sitting at 69.1% and 76% win rate in the WNBA. So that's how we're doing so far. Just crushing it. Thanks so much, Super Pro. Good morning, Alvin. Welcome in. So yeah, we've been tracking all our progress, putting out these numbers every day, and you can see this happen in real time, proven results right in front of your eyes. So I feel very good about some of these NFL plays today. You know, before we get started, I always say, sit back, relax, and get your mind right to win some wagers. Ooh, looks like there's a seed in my cannabis. I found a seed. Gonna grow more weed. Today I am smoking some Golden Goat. It is sweet, tropical, a little bit of spicy, so it just kind of delivers that uplifting, balanced high. Perfect for, you know, just like the festive, you know, communal side of this harvest season. And yeah, I'm harvesting all my plants right now, growing my own proprietary strains. Like, so exciting. I love it. We're having a lot of fun here. So yeah, it is great. It is great. I love the fall. So many like yummy foods. All the cannabis budding out, looking so pretty. It looks great. All right. So before we get into the NFL, let's talk about baseball and basketball. So in the WNBA, of course, there are 2 games today. The Aces are facing off against the Fever. That is a 3:00 p.m. Eastern game. Should be really exciting to watch. But at this very moment, I don't have a play in this game. You know, I've been watching it, tracking it, but I just am not really seeing anything here that I would play at this very moment. But I do see something in this Lynx Mercury game that I like. This is a later WNBA game. It is at 8:00 p.m. Eastern, and I have been tracking the spread for the Mercury here. This has been really interesting. So there has been a bit of money pushing this, but the line has been moving out as well. And, you know, it does look like there's maybe a little hint of pro money mixed in here. So it went from -2.5, where it opened up, to -4.5 on level 4 money. And that was just earlier. I mean, that was early, but, you know, it kept moving out. But then even as I was tracking this number, like, this spread continued to move out for the Mercury, sitting now at -5.5. So it is going in the right direction. It is being backed by a bunch of pro money, and just a bunch of money in general as well. And it's looking like a very, very good play. So if you're thinking about playing the WNBA today, I would say this Mercury spread is looking very solid. Definitely one of those that I would highlight in red on a daily report. Yeah, you expected the Lynx moving on, that's for sure. I mean, you know, there's been so much talk about the Lynx in the WNBA, and a lot of our pros here, like especially, you know, some of our WNBA pros have a lot of faith in the Lynx. But just looking at these numbers, sticking to what they're saying, absolutely, the numbers are supporting Mercury. And yeah, it is a little bit unexpected, especially as I've been listening to like a lot of our expert handicappers here. But just looking at the numbers, looking at how the money is flowing, and, you know, identifying a little bit of sharp money in the mix, it does seem like this is developing pretty nicely. So I like it. Hey Spencer, how you doing? Watching the game right now, tuning in. You thought Lynx the whole way. Oh, well, you know, I mean, I know everyone was saying the Lynx are looking very solid, and they've had a great season. I mean, seriously, they're outperforming, you know, like just like when I did a WNBA simulation, a Monte Carlo simulation for Jeff Fogel, a great sports writer on Substack. He's been in the industry for decades, you know, writing about sports, you know, putting his work out there, analyzing the numbers, breaking it down. the Lynx really showed like they're like an extraordinarily, they're an extraordinary outlier, especially when it comes to looking at all these games throughout the season. So they've been, on the radar. The coach is suspended for the Lynx. So maybe it could be kind of, some locker room, I could see there being a little bit of turmoil, like having the coach suspended. Hey Chris, thanks for tuning in. It's so great having all of you here. I know the game's on right now, and I appreciate everyone tuning in and watching the live stream. Maybe you have both on at the same time, because you gotta win your wagers while watching football, even better. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, he might have slept in a little bit today, but that's okay. That is a-okay. You know what? I was feeling tired this morning myself. I was like, oh, I want to sleep just a little bit longer. I think everyone has those mornings, right? Like, not just me. All right, so moving on to baseball. Like I said, there's really not a lot of stuff going on here. I mean, just from what I see, I see the Seattle money line moving just a little bit, but there's some Joe money on it. I'm looking at this Pirates-Braves game. I do see the totals starting to move under, but the money is all on the over right now, so just staying away from that, because that's not really looking too appealing. And then also watching this 3:20 p.m. Eastern game between the Cardinals and the Cubs. The Cards money line went from plus 140 to plus 115, so it's starting to move in the right direction, but I still don't really have anything I'm feeling super solid about. And the total moved down 0.5 point, so maybe the under will develop, but things are just slow moving in baseball today. Like, the bettors really don't care about baseball right now at this moment. And just seeing how these lines are moving, it's not there's nothing I would even really move into like an action play at this moment. Plus there's so many things that they're still looking at. Like, a lot of these games, they might not even be on the daily report because they're still determining who's going to be the pitcher, etc. So it's just one of those days in baseball. Yeah, and hey, there's a lot of team fans out there in baseball playing the games, supporting your team, and, I think that's good, especially if you're a fan, maybe just throwing a little bit of a sprinkle on, just, so you could hope that team wins. I personally, I don't have like I'm not a fan towards any team in particular. I'm very like unbiased in that way. So but I would say if you're playing baseball today, just, really manage your bankroll properly. Don't go crazy, because right now is not the time to really be betting on baseball. If anything, what I like early, this WNBA game. Seriously, I think the Mercury spread is looking way more solid than anything that I'm seeing in baseball at this very moment. So yeah, that's my opinion right now. Yeah, not a lot of people watching baseball, and it's kind of tough right now because you don't really know who the pitcher is in some of these spots. So people are not betting when they don't have the right information. I'm not betting when I don't have the right information. If things are slow developing, if I can't really, get all the data, it's hard. You don't want to like just throw away your hard-earned money. So you really have to make those strategic decisions. So now let's talk about what I know you guys have been dying to talk about, is football. So the NFL made 2 really good, important decisions. Is the audio a little too loud? I just noticed it got Got a little loud. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I would say the Mercury -5 is pretty good right now. I mean, it moved out. I saw it even move to -5.5 in a lot of spots, but still looking solid. So yeah, I'd say go for it, Thomas. It's looking solid, and yeah. Let's talk about 2 intelligent things the NFL did recently. So basically, when I first started sports wagering, this was a few years ago, kickoffs were basically, ceremonial. It was just, it was ceremonial, and only 1 out of 20 would be returned. People would get hurt. I mean, and it was just kind of a pretty bogus thing to have at all. Kickoffs used to be very boring and also cause more injuries, but last year the NFL changed it. So basically, last year, 1/3 of the kickoffs were being returned. So this is huge compared to all the previous years. But this year, 4 out of 5 of them are being returned. So now the kicker has become a lot more important to the game, of course, in addition to being able to kick field goals. And I mean, this has made the game a lot more interesting, a lot more exciting, but they also have not changed the game significantly by doing this. So I think it was super, it was a really good decision for the NFL to start doing, this dynamic kickoff rule. And now we have to ask ourselves, is almost every kickoff being returned now? And the answer is yes, 4 out of 5 times. That is the current data for this year. Last year, it was 1/3 of the time. This year, it's 4/5 of the time. That is a huge improvement. And is the field getting shorter now? We have to ask ourselves this question as well. But actually, no, this year and last year, it starts on the 29.5. So, looking at this, the NFL has been able to improve the game without altering the game. They've been able to create more action and also, less of a chance of players getting injured without changing the game significantly. So they've also did another smart thing. What is the smart thing you were thinking of? Feel free to throw it in the chat, because I think it might be the same smart thing that I was thinking of. And this was just announced in the NFL last night. So like I said earlier, they did 2 very, very intelligent things recently. Yeah, exactly. It goes from, 1/3 to 4/5. I mean, that's huge, especially as you're crunching the numbers, looking at the data, and refining your models in the NFL this year. And yes, that you landed on the same thing as me, that's for sure. So last night, NFL basically told Taylor Swift that, yeah, to kiss their ass, basically. So here's the deal. This is about the halftime show. And of course, I want everyone to pitch in here. Throw it in the comments what you think the best halftime shows of the NFL were of literally like all time, and some of the worst. Like, I want to know, what do you think are the best halftime shows? What are the worst halftime shows? Throw it in the comments section. I want to hear from all of you. Seriously, I hope you're watching right now and you have a second. Feel free to type it in the group chat. But let's talk about this halftime show. The NFL basically told Taylor Swift to kiss her ass for the NFL halftime show. She wanted $100 million in payment, plus, literally millions and millions in commercial spots and promoting herself all over the arena. And also, she wanted to have a pretty heavy hand in controlling the show. So let's think about this. No one else has ever gotten paid to perform like at these halftime shows because they're getting so much notoriety. This is the number one most watched thing on TV consistently for many years. I mean, one of the last classes I took, before graduating from UNLV was, we were looking at examining all of this TV data and, looking at the most popular times ever that people are watching TV. Super Bowl is clearly the number one, especially like in America, is clearly the number one. So, I mean, you're getting you're getting so much TV attention and coverage, and Taylor Swift could say this is about respect, respecting me as an artist, but you kind of want to control the whole show, and she could say, well, this is not about the money, but you wanted $100 million, like so. I mean, you could say it's not about the money, you could say it's really just about respect, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is a little crazy. So it's, it was basically them facing off against each other, and right now the NFL is looking at two potential artists, Adele, Miley Cyrus. They're looking at them, deciding between the two of them. You like the Shakira show. You know what? Shakira always brings the fire. I love her. Snoop, Dre, Eminem. You like Kendrick too? You know what? I would say Kendrick was definitely on my list for like top performances. You know what? But I love Rihanna's too. I love Rihanna's performance. She's just so like iconic. And just has so many good songs. I wish she would start producing music again. Your favorite was Shania Twain. You think she did it really well. Nice. I'll have to look at that one. I think that might have been before I was really watching a lot of football. So, yeah, I mean, I think, what do you guys think? Adele, Miley Cyrus, who do you rather see? Detroit Lions playoff game. Yeah, that was bad. Seeing that igloo on the football field, it was like, why do we have an igloo here? That was just so odd to me. Very odd. I gotta admit, you think Adele has the best voice? Yeah, the fake icebergs. That was a tough one to watch. I agree with you. The icebergs and the igloo, that was tough to watch. Do you think Adele has the best voice? I mean, I gotta admit, I've always liked Adele's music. She is an incredible singer. But I'm personally leaning a little bit more towards Miley Cyrus myself. I think her whole song, like Party in the USA, would just be like a fire anthem to have during a halftime show. And I think she just kind of brings a little bit more of that like rocker chick vibe, whereas like in my opinion, this is just my opinion, like no shade to anyone here, like in my opinion, I feel like Adele kind of brings that, like slower, almost ballad type of vibe. But I mean, she does have a few songs that have been huge pop hits. Oh my god, I love Dolly Parton at Thanksgiving. I mean, first of all, the more I learn about Dolly Parton, the more I realize like this woman is literally incredible. She's doing so many amazing things just to give back to the local communities and for kids and helping kids read, and I'm just like, wow. And not only that, then she shows up at a halftime show in that hot Dallas Cowboy cheerleader costume, and I think she looked great, honestly. I was just like, you know what? You could be whatever age. It doesn't even matter. You've done great things for society, for the world, and, rock it. Like, I love that, rock that little look. So that was a great show, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Miley definitely brings that, like, rock star kind of energy. I don't know, I could just imagine like Party in the USA being played over speakers and everyone just like really getting into it during the Super Bowl show. But Adele also has some really good iconic hits. So, but if I had my choice, like if I were the NFL deciding, I would be like Miley all the way. But that's just my personal opinion. I've seen so many people dressing up as like Hannah Montana for like Halloween, like recommending it on TikTok and things like that. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be a big thing this year. So we'll see. It's exciting. We'll see what they decide to do. But so far, right now, no Taylor Swift halftime show. I know you guys are all disappointed. Um, Probably not really. But um, yeah, we could bet it in the poly market. Hey Mendoza, welcome in. Thanks for stopping in and seeing me this morning, joining in the stream. Now let's dive into some football. Next time I'm really going to talk about more of the dynamic kickoff. So we'll dive into that. I will have a little bit more about that in the daily report this morning. So we'll really dive into some of the statistics there and look at more of those numbers, because the NFL they've done some pretty smart things recently. So we'll dive into that in the daily report. And if you haven't signed up for my free daily emails, which are a ton of fun, they have my picks of the day, pictures of me every day, so much more. Make sure to sign up, arielcalista.com, click stay in touch. And also my website has a whole fresh face on it. It looks beautiful. I love how my website looks. Of course, there might still be a couple glitchy things here or there. I don't know. I mean, it just went up yesterday, so feel free to peruse through it and, check out what I do. Like, you guys know me as a sports wagerer. I've been doing that for many years. But if you also want to see a little bit more of my life behind the scenes, other things that I'm doing for work, make sure to check it out all on my website. You'll see all my businesses there, everything that I'm doing. So it's a great way to really get to know me and dive a little bit deeper beyond the sports wagering content. Even though it's great, we've had amazing success with it. I do other things too. Oh yeah, maybe the Cowslays will perform their song. Oh no. Victor, you did not miss well, you did miss one WNBA pick, and right now we're loving this Mercury spread, but right now there's not much going on in Major League Baseball that I like. So just that so far, that's all you missed. We are diving into NFL now, so let's start talking about it. That is true. I did. All right. So we're going to start off with some games that I really, really like early on. The first one being the Chargers versus Giants. This is a 1:00 p.m. Eastern game. This spread went from -3.5 early on to -5.5. Went back a little bit to -3.5 on level 2 Chargers money. Pushed out to -6.5. I took this on a move back, but there's been level 1 money, level 2 money, and the money is looking super, super pro on the Chargers spread today. So I like seeing that happen. Oh, hey, Red Pill, welcome in. Yeah, I definitely think Miley has the party vibe. I think she would just make the halftime show very lit. It would be a party. Yeah, it's been a struggle for them a little bit, but I think this Charger spread is still looking very solid. Even though it's still sitting at -6.5 right now, I would say this is looking solid. I like this pick a lot, and this is obviously something we've been tracking throughout the week, and I still like this play. But I'm sure you guys want to know what is my number one pick for today. Some of you, are probably wondering what is the one that I really, really like, and that is the Packers spread. The Packers are facing the Cowboys tonight at 8:20 p.m. Eastern. This Packers spread opened up at -2.5, went to -7 on level one Packer money. There's a little bit of pro money I saw starting to develop on the spread. And right now there's level three Packers money. A lot of pros are hitting this spread right now. And it did move back just slightly to -6.5. A lot of spots are still holding us at -7. So it really just depends. Line shop around a little bit. But I would say, I think this is looking very, very solid right now, and it's definitely one of my favorite plays at this moment is this Packers spread. It's looking great, very solid. Um, yeah, they are messing with the Packers line a little bit. It's like they're moving it back, moving it out, moving it back a little bit, but I'm not concerned about it. They are playing with the players. A lot of what Vegas is doing is, interpreting the betting public's behavior and also the sharp money behavior, and I like this spread. I think this is solid, and it's honestly like my most solid NFL play of the day, so I'm sticking with it. You think the line should be 7.5 or 8? Yeah, lots of pros have been on this, and they've just been pretty consistent. So I like seeing that. I really do. So you see 6.5. So it did move back in your spot as well. Some spots are still holding it at -7, but I'd say take the -6.5. I like that. And, I like that, some of our professional handicappers in the audience here. It seems like, are you suggesting you should ladder it up, Chuck Science, to -7.5, -8? Um, Are you laddering it out yourself? That's what we all want to know. Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to move it past this key number of -7. So, we've already talked about this before, looking at the NFL key numbers. I've covered this many times, like, whether it's a 2-minute drill or YouTube video, you've already heard about this. So they're keeping it right here at -7, -6.5. But I'm not concerned. I like this play. I think it's super solid. Alrighty, now let's dive into some other plays that are looking a little bit more like leans, like action plays. So I want to dive into this. That's cute, Super Pro. I like it. All right, Colts versus Rams. This is a 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern game. Now, I have been watching the total here. I've been watching the spread as well. So the money is pretty mixed right now on the Colts. I would say, just on the spread in general. Colts opened up at +6.5 early, opened at +4.5, went to +3.5 on Colts money. Right now the money is very mixed. It's leaning Colts. So this line does seem like it's moving in the right direction. Like it's moving in the right direction for the Colts. And the money is leaning Colts, but this hasn't quite risen to the level of an action play. What I do like here is the total. It opened up at 46.5 early, went to 47.5, then 49.5 with a lot of over pro money. And right now the money is looking a little bit more mixed. There's still a lot of pros on the over here. So I would say, sitting at 49.5, this is definitely a strong lean for me right now, taking this over 49.5 in this Colts Rams game. This line has just been going in the right direction. It's been, going up and up and up. And also, seeing all of this money come in that's looking pro, even though it's a little more mixed right now, having that pro money there in the mix definitely puts it into the action pile for me. Hey there, Nathan. Welcome in. So nice seeing you here. And thanks for spending your Sunday morning with me. Yeah, this is This is intriguing. I do, see this line starting to move in the right direction for the Colts. So I want to see if this play develops a little bit more. And I think it will. I mean, there's still plenty of time, to look at this spread, to really analyze it, and, really track across like a lot of these different established sports books, where the sharp players are moving. Um, so yeah, it's interesting to look at, but right now I feel way more solid about this total. So putting that in the action pile for now is this over in this game. So over 49.5 is where it's sitting in most places right now. Thanks, Chris, for reminding everyone to give the stream a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. It really does help in the algorithm. I'm a small creator. I'm still under 500 followers, like I think on YouTube, Twitch, Kick. I'm like definitely want to build up those channels a little bit. So yeah, the thumbs ups help. Thumb. Oh boy. But really does help, like especially if you share, tell a friend about it, tell a friend about the daily report too. A lot of effort goes into these morning emails. I've been doing it for over 830 days, and I would love if you just shared with a friend, told friend, family member, especially now that it's football season. I want everyone to know about these free daily emails, and of course feel free to reply to them any single time, like at all. You can just always reply to them anytime. I'll always respond as soon as I can. And yeah, if you just want to chat, say hi, have any questions, I want to, dive into a game, have something that you would like me to break down and analyze, it's so easy to just respond to these daily emails. I always answer back. It's not like I'm one of those people that's like, I can't answer my DMs. Like, you guys know how to reach me. um, so you're leaning the Rams right now. Yeah, I don't know. This is a spread that's just looking a little weird to me. So I'm liking this over at this moment. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Now, moving on to this Ravens Chiefs game. This is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern, so it's coming right up, and there's still quite a few hours to really see how this line moves, what's going on here. But this is interesting because initially the Ravens were underdogs at +1.5. This spread quickly flipped to -2.5 on some mixed pro money. So the money is still very mixed, but considering how much this line has moved with just mixed money and seeing a little bit of pro money in here, is definitely looking interesting to me. So I have a bit of a strong lean today on this spread. And, I think if you're taking the Ravens spread today, this is looking like an action play. It's a lean for me at the moment, but a strong lean. So I like how it's moving. And to me, the sports book is signaling that it likes the Ravens spread as well, just considering how much this line has moved. And it's mostly on mixed money with a little bit of pro money on the Ravens spread here. So it's interesting. Yeah. Oh no. That would be fun. Super Fro. I need to get like an animator, someone who knows how to like do that. I could be sitting there, action plays, have a little like thing in the corner here with an explosion. I don't know. Sunglasses. That would be fun. All right, you like the Ravens too. There's definitely some signals there. Oh no. No shade to Mattress Mac. Well, I mean, I did have to write that article in a daily report. But you know what? I mean, everyone wants to hate on these computer assisted wagering systems, and then they're going to go around and sell your horse to South Korea, who's creating all of these computer assisted wagering systems. Come on. Don't be a hypocrite. All right. So those are some of my favorite plays early on. Let's keep going because there are a few more action plays that I really like in the NFL early on. So let's talk about some of these earlier plays at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Coming up in, ooh, it's already 11:40, just about an hour from now. A little over. All right, so Panthers versus Patriots. I have been tracking this New England spread. It opened up early at -3.5, went to -4.5, then -5.5 on mixed money. So definitely, Vegas was signaling that this is going in the right direction for New England. And then I saw some pro mixed money coming in here on the Patriots. It is still sitting at -5.5. Um, there's some Panther money coming in now. So the money was mixed. It's a little bit more Panther money at this moment, but the pros are coming in on the Patriots. So something to keep your eye on, especially because Vegas is moving this line and the pros are coming in. So I would say this is something to watch out for. It looks like it's going in the right direction for the Patriots, and at this moment, I am leaning Patriots. So I'm putting that in my action play. I feel like a boom, explosion, sunglasses. um, okay, so you bet over 46.5 there. Let's really dive into what this line is doing, but let me take a look at some of these numbers and I'll let you know. I was tracking that spread, just tracking the Jags early versus the San Francisco 49ers. And I did see it starting to move in the right direction. For the Jags. But the thing is like there was so much, pro money coming in on the 49ers. I don't know. I just ended up kind of staying away from this game for right now. At least for the moment. But yeah, that's kind of what I've seen so far. I do see it opened up at, 45.5. So it was just kind of sitting there for a little bit. So you bought the over 46. So it did start going up a little bit. Let's see what's going on. The money is looking very mixed right now. It's still just kind of sitting at 46.5. I would say, like the sports book is definitely like moving this total up, but the money is pretty mixed. I see a lot of money kind of more leaning towards the under. So I don't really have a personal opinion here right now. This is one of those games where I don't really see, like it's just not quite meeting my parameters. But from where I'm standing at this moment, I do see it's gone a little bit towards the over. The line moved up a point. But the money is still really mixed. So it's been staying there at 46.5. Yeah, no problem. I think the reason Vegas is just kind of keeping this line where it is right now is because, it's a lot of mixed money. It doesn't really look like the pros or, the Joes are really pushing in one direction or another. So I think Vegas is just kind of happy where this line is at, and they might just be leaving it alone. Oh no. A wrestling match on Netflix. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Yeah, no, you can't, I don't know, can't have that much tension like on the field. Gotta gotta be a good sport, control your emotions. It's a team sport, and at the end of the day, like, I really hope everyone does, perform as well, or, as yeah, as well as they could. Like, that's my goal. And we all win our wagers. So let's do that. Let's look at this Titans Texans game. This is also a 1 o'clock game. And here I've been looking at the total. So, I mean, of course, I've been tracking the spread as well. The Texans went from -5.5 to -7. Um, but this was on a lot of Titans money. So, sports books and the money were moving in opposite directions here. It was looking pretty Joe on the Titans, but now this money is shifting and some pros are coming in on the Titans. But this line is still holding on Tennessee right now, -7. So I don't know. I'm just gonna pass here. I'm just gonna pass. Ooh, my view of the Eagles versus Bucks game. It's about respect. It's not about money. But I want 100 million. Welcome in, Ben. It's okay. I'm gonna be going over all of these plays, and we'll really outline everything that I like at this moment. But let me just wrap up with this Titans-Texans game, and I will get right back to you. This total is what I've been looking at for an action play. It opened up at 44.5, went to 39.5. There was a bit of pro money coming in on the under. Vegas is moving this line, and they're moving it a lot, like pretty significantly. Then it went to 38.5 from 39.5. And right now it's sitting at 39. So they moved it up a half a point, but there is still a lot of pro money on the under. And it's looking pretty mixed, but it's looking very pro as well. So I would say this under is looking like a nice little action play. I am leaning towards this under at this moment, and Sportsbook has moved this line a lot. So I like to see that happen. So I would say this is another lane to add into the action pile. And yeah, if you want to take an under spot today, I would say, this is looking like a solid under play. All right, so let's look at this Eagles game. I have been tracking mostly the total here. But let's see what's going on with the spread and, just how this is moving so far. So right now it is just sitting at -3.5. -105 most spots. Some spots have it sitting, -113, etc. Just really depending on where you're looking. And it opened up at -3. So, looking at some of this money right now, it does look a little bit mixed. Not really seeing a lot of action right now on the spread. I would like to see a little bit, more movement, maybe some more pro money coming in here, but the money is just, it's very split. And considering the sportsbook has only, they've only moved this a half a point, I just don't really see it hitting my parameters at this moment. This total is looking a little bit more interesting to me because there's been a little bit more movement, but I also don't really have a play here either. So this total in this Eagles-Bucks game opened up at 48.5 early, went to 46.5, then 44 with level 1 money on the under. Then it went to 44.5, 43.5, back to 44.5. Still looking very mixed. So just overall, a lot of mixed money in this game, and these lines are being a little bit confusing, just kind of moving back and forth, and then on the spread, really just not doing not doing too much here. I would like to see these lines move a little bit more, maybe see a little bit more solid money, coming in and influencing it a little bit. But at this moment, I just don't really have a play in this game. It's not quite hitting my parameters. But I know a lot of people here, in this region are going to be rooting for the Eagles. I've already seen everyone out with their jerseys and stuff, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So you have Eagles money line with Vikings money line. Mm. Were you parlaying that? That sounds like a parlay. I was thinking maybe for Halloween I should be something that like scares me. And I'll be a 10-leg parlay. And I'll have like all these legs like coming out, and betting slips like stapled all over the legs. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like some scary Halloween costume outfits. Yeah, I don't play parlays. I gotta admit, I never play parlay. Yeah, well, that kind of is what it is. Yeah, the parlay spider. I'm like, you know what scares me? 10-leg parlays. That's scary. That's terrifying. Yeah, but they're hard to hit, and you know what? I always try to tell people like just be careful playing parlays, like so heavily juiced, like in favor of the books, and I don't know, I mean, start stacking up probabilities. It's just mathematically doesn't make sense to play parlays, in my opinion. Well, not just my opinion, the math says so. But yeah, those are all of the plays that I like for today. I do see a little bit of movement going on in some other games, but I'm passing on a lot of these. I mean, I would say the only thing, maybe is developing into a lean is maybe the under in his Commanders Falcons game. This is a 1 o'clock p.m. game and opened up at 48.5 early, went to 45.5, then there was level 2 money on the under, level 1. There was a little bit of pro money coming in here. Then it dropped down even further to 43.5. So I am leaning under. There is a little bit of pro money here. Alrighty. So, all right, that's good. I'm glad you're just playing my plays straight. Some people like to take all of the plays that I highlight in a morning report and just throw them into a big parlay, and I don't know. And then sometimes it's like if one misses, like even if I have, 7 out of 8 winners, if one misses, then you're kind of screwed. So I always tell people just like play them straight. Even if you have to play a parlay, just play them straight. So you got this, Thomas. It's funny, Super Bro. Oh my gosh. I do need some sound effects, some music, like playing the parlays, or playing the leans. Alrighty, so let's just cover all of the plays that I like for today. And yeah, so the first one that we talked about, that is the Mercury spread. They're facing off against the Lynx today in the WNBA. This is an 8 o'clock game, and I just really like this spread. It's looking very solid. It's moving out in the right direction, and I would grab it before it moves even further. Of course, I like the Packers today as well. This is my top play in football. So I love this. Pros are just flying in on Packers. It's going in the right direction. Everything about the Packers today says this is a super solid play. It's hitting all my parameters, so I like it. Also, I ended up taking this Charger spread. It's still okay. It's still good. So I like it. Looking very solid. Now, let's dive into my leans. Okay, these are a little bit more of an action play, so not quite as strong as these other ones, but I still like it. All right, so that's your prop of the day, Anthony. Coleman to score today. Interesting. I don't have any props today for you guys, but I do have some action plays. and that is New England Patriots. I've been liking the spread. So I am leaning towards the Patriots. It's, moving out solid, and lots of pros coming in on the Patriots. Then in this Titans-Texans game, I've been leaning towards the under. There is quite a bit of mixed pro money on the under, but this line movement has been, you know, pretty big as well, going from 44.5 down to 39. So I am leaning towards the under here. Then I am looking at the total in this Colts-Rams game. Of course, looking at the spread, leaning towards Colts, but that's not really even quite hitting an action play at this moment. What is hitting an action play is the over in this game. So I think there'll be lots of points scored today, and this over is developing pretty solidly. And then finally, this is a strong lean. So this might even develop into like a full-blown play, not an action lean. I might take it out of the action pile. As I put out the daily report, we'll see. We're going to look at these numbers very carefully again. But this Ravens spread, they went from underdogs to favorites, sitting at -2.5. Lots of strong pro money on the Ravens today. So I like seeing that. Yeah, I like seeing that happen. So those are all of the plays that I'm looking at for today. Yeah, this is kind of a huge slate. Just, remember, gamble responsibly, manage your bankroll, and, really, really make sure, you're not playing the parlays, and, you're also line shopping around, getting the best lines, and good luck on all of your wagers. I just wanted to end the show with a little bit of cannabis news. So I got a lot of seeds this year. I've been creating my own strains, and it's been a lot of fun. So right now I have 3 brand new strains that I've created. One is chocolate strawberries, one is strawberry blizzard, and the other one, which you guys all know, we created on the show, is bicycle face. So I've been getting so many seeds from my plant. I'm harvesting seeds like crazy. Like, there's hundreds of seeds growing on my cannabis plants outdoors. It has not been the greatest grow season, but I'm getting so many seeds, and I got the light, so I'm going to be growing inside, just keeping fresh cannabis, like a fresh cannabis supply all year long. This is a lot different than last year when I had like 42 cannabis plants. This year it's been a bit smaller just because, I don't know, the summer's been kind of weird for growing cannabis plants. It just hasn't been like the best season ever. Hey, Super James, are you not sorry? So I just wanted to show you chocolate strawberry. Just popped out. I just planted it. It's got a little bit of dirt on it, but it's right here. It's so cute. So take a look. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Lady Infrared. I like that one. I could be Lady Infrared. I did add a bunch of new infrared stuff to my website, and also all my other businesses. So if you want to learn a little bit more about me, really dive in behind, like, we do a lot of sports wagering every week in a morning report. But if you want to know what I'm doing beyond sports wagering and really, really get to know me, get to know some of my businesses, things I'm involved in, it is all on arielcalista.com. The website has a brand new, fresh new face, and it looks great. I spent a lot of time working on it, so if you have a moment today, tomorrow, this week, whatever, make sure to just check it out, see some of the stuff I'm doing there. Let me know if there's any glitches on the website, of course, like, I'll just go in and fix it. But it is a lot of fun, and make sure to check it out. Sign up for the free daily emails just by clicking the Stay in Touch button on arielcalista.com. And stay in touch with me. Feel free to write to any of my emails, any comments, questions, concerns, complaints, whatever. Hopefully not complaints, but still. Oh yeah, chocolate chocolate strawberries. It's a mixture of chocolate Thai and strawberry cough. So chocolate strawberries, my favorite. I had to name it that. It just made sense. And I love chocolate strawberries. It's so good. All right, everyone, those are all of my plays for today. Good luck on all of your wagers. Have a wonderful winning Sunday, Monday, and good luck, everyone. I'll see you all on the next stream on Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Make sure to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. And good luck, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for joining.